Hey, welcome to Growing Devotions for Your Daily Life. We hope you're doing well today. If you know me by now, you know that I really enjoy doing marriage counseling. Back in 2007, I went and got my degree in this, and it has been a blessing to me, and I hope to a lot of other people. It's amazing how the door has been a revolving door, especially throughout COVID, but many years and weeks before this. I have got many books and different things in my arsenal of helps to help different people. One of these is Gary Chapman wrote a book called The Seasons of Marriage. And I thought it'd be neat to take a devotion each day, Monday, Tuesday, and then Thursday and Friday, and go through the different seasons of marriage. Some of you are not married, some of you are in the middle of marriage, and if so, you will find yourself in one of these seasons. And some of you have your spouses has already passed away, and you're not currently in a relationship at all. So this is very geared to those that are in a specific season of marriage, but also it's also in the season of relationship. It doesn't have to be just marriage, but you also find long-term relationships sort of follow this pattern also. I want you to think about what your favorite season is. What does that look like? There's positive and negatives to every season. Let's look at summer. What is it that you like about summer? Some of you are like, we finally can get into the pool. We finally can go to the beach. Some of you say, I finally can look into the mirror and think, wow, I'm not so pale anymore. Some of you can say, finally, I can put on shorts and wear them. But let's look at the negatives of summer. Sometimes all the bugs, the mosquitoes, the cutting the grass, just the plain out heat and the high humidity. Nothing like North Carolina and 100% humidity. We look at fall. What a beautiful time fall is. Fall is my favorite in North Carolina because of the constant 70-degree weathers that we have for so long. I love the changing of leaves and how beautiful they are. The negatives of fall is sometimes that air gets pretty brisk at night. If you're not prepared for it, sometimes during the day you don't need jeans and a sweatshirt, but at night you sure do. How many times have you got all the leaves out of your yard and you turn around and there's a windstorm and it looks like you hadn't touched them at all after hours of work? Some of you enjoy winter. You love winter. You love the positives of winter, such as you love the fact that there are no more bugs and allergies are no more. You love the fact that it's Thanksgiving and Christmas time and you just enjoy winter. Some of you enjoy the cold where you hate the heat. But some of you, the cold is too much for you. And if you're elderly and you're on any type of blood thinner, then you know cold and you just don't get along that well. How about if it's spring? What if that's your favorite time of year? Spring brings forth beautiful flowers and the time for bees to go and send nectar to one tree or plant to the other. It's a beautiful time. But the negatives of springs, you got it. Tremendous amount of allergies and sneezing and doctor visits and co-pays and all the things that goes along with that. You know, marriages and relationships sort of go along with these seasons. There's good and there's bad that comes along with each season in a relationship. In Genesis 2:22 and 23, the Bible says this, and the rib which the Lord God had taken from man, and he made woman, and brought them unto the man. And Adam said, now this is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh, and she shall be called woman because she was taken out of a man. I don't know if you know about the different seasons of marriage or if anybody's ever taught this to you. If you've been married or in a relationship for any length of time, you will see one of these 4 seasons in your life. Many books and sermons have been taught on this, and so I'm just another one in the bunch that is going to do my part to try to add some of my input. As we begin with the first season, we're going to look at the first season of summer. Now, summer is usually the time of romance, is it not? Some of you can remember being at the beach for a week and meeting the girl or guy of your dreams and thinking this is the one. It's called summer love, right? You know, the saying I would say about summer romance is just plain fun, isn't it? It's just excitement. It actually begins with the very first attraction, the first time you see somebody and you're like Adam looking at Eve and he goes, whoa, man, she is beautiful. He is gorgeous. And then it continues through the dating process. If you don't believe in dating, then you believe in courtship, whatever you want to call it. And then it goes through your first year or two of marriage, and this is called your romance time, your first couple years of marriage. There have been a bunch of songs that have been wrote about this, and you will add to this list as you're thinking along with me. I just have 3 quick ones that I pulled up. Here's one that was wrote. Here's a true title of a song. It says, "Before the dance was through, I knew I was in love with you." L-U-V, love with you. Here's another one. "I didn't know just what to do, so I whispered, I love you." Then the third one, "Hello, I love you. Won't you tell me your name?" This is absolutely the time of fun. Summer romance. You know, there's a lot of feelings that go along with summer romance. I remember being at the beach and talking to girls, being a 13-year-old boy, and I remember these feelings that came up. I remember the clammy palms, the dry tongue, not knowing what to say, the wobbly knees, the heart that is beating out of your chest. Emotionalism describes this, does it not? And it's very emotional. In fact, people that are in the dating relationship, the courtship, the first couple years of marriage, they would almost tell me that this is sacrilegious to even call this emotionalism. This is true 100% love. It's amazing that couples come in after just a couple years of marriage and say, you know what? We have fallen out of love. We no longer have that sizzle. We no longer have that thrill of the touch. I no longer have the pounding heart. So therefore, we must not be in love anymore. I've got an illustration or interesting story, and this is a true story that happened in 1930s. It was in a small Oklahoma town, and there was a football team playing for the local high school, and they were flat out terrible. They were awful. They had not won a single game in a couple of seasons. So there was a big oil tycoon who had a lot of money. He was doing very well. So the Friday before the big game, he went into the locker room and he said, "Guys, we're playing our rival team next week." They said, "That's right." The guys were listening intently, and he said, "This is what I'm going to do. You make sure you practice hard this week, and you really desire it and really want it, because if you win this game, I am buying every person, including the coaches, a brand new Ford car." You can hear the roar, the excitement, the emotionalism in this clubhouse. So that whole week, they started practicing. They even practiced longer hours. They had no problem going to practice. They practiced Saturday and Sunday. They practiced Monday and Tuesday, extra hours, coming in early in the morning, Wednesday, Thursday, and here's Friday, the day of the big game. You couldn't imagine how emotional everybody was. They ran out of that locker room, went through the cheerleaders. They were holding banners and people were shouting. The whole town was there to witness this event. They began to play, and they were playing with all of their hearts. They were singing. They were cheering each other on. Nobody sat down the entire time. The final score, 38-0. The bad news was it was the other team who won that game. You know what we learned? All the emotion could not make up for the discipline for the other team. The study, the training, the experience, and the character that other team had above their rivals. Even though they were so emotional, they were so pumped up about winning this game because they would get a brand new Ford, they still lost. You know, when a couple enters into marriage and they enter in upon feelings alone, or romance alone, or just a physical intimacy alone, their relationship is only secure as their feelings. Listen to me. When a couple enters into a relationship or a marriage on feelings alone, their relationship is only as secure as their feelings. You know what? How many times has somebody told you, follow your heart? Just listen to your heart. God will speak to your heart. You know what Jeremiah 17:9 says about your heart? The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? You know, the heart is the seat of our emotions. James tells us your emotions can be up here one day and be down here, up here and down here. If somebody tells you to trust your heart, that's terrible advice. You know what the Diet Coke commercial says? Follow your heart. Your heart is all over the place. In fact, do you remember maybe you or your child wanted their first pet? Maybe it was a brand new puppy. And you said, no, because we're not getting it because you're not going to take care of it. Daddy, mama, please, I will take care of this puppy. I will bathe it. I will give us its flea and tick medicine. I will feed it every time it's supposed to be fed. I will change the water bowl, clean the water bowl, take them outside, make sure they're cared for. And you're like, you better do this. Okay. And you know what? Emotionally, they were pumped. They were ready. In their mind, it was good as done. But guess what? After about 2 weeks, learning how to maintain and figuring out how to take care of another animal, they realized this is a lot of work. And I don't know if this is what I want. You know, if we concentrate on the feelings of romance in every relationship, and we just want to enjoy that romance and not maintain it, then we're going to see that we're going to lose that commitment eventually. In the season of romance, it's very easy to become blind to people's faults. They have faults, but we put on the blinders of love, right? L-U-V. Some people idealize their mate. If they're true or false idealizations, but they idealize their mate. Sometimes people just deny each other's flaws. I often tell my couples this, and I have them write it down. What is it that you don't like about this person? And they're usually truthful, and they'll say, these are the things I'm struggling with. And I tell them this, times that times 10, and that's what you're going to have in your marriage relationship. If this is bothering you that bad already, then you will have serious issues in your marriage. In fact, I make it very clear, just because you come in for counseling, pre-marriage counseling, doesn't mean I'm going to marry you. If there's issues that you're not taking care of, I'm not going to be the one responsible for making sure that you go along with something that you shouldn't. Oftentimes people that fight or quarrel, either they say they don't, or they make up really quickly, and they rarely come to grips with what the deeper issue is between it, and they suppress all those problems. You know, we're going to talk about fall tomorrow and what that looks like and moving through this relationship. Some of you are in that romance time, in that summertime. Some of you are within that first 2 years of marriage. It's a fun time, is it not? There's fun things about it and there's negatives about it. Our goal at Community Baptist Church and the Lord's goal was not to help you have just life, but life more abundant. And I believe that about your marriages too, and your relationships. Not just a relationship, not just a marriage, but a marriage more abundant because it's given to us by God and what He designed it was. I look forward to tomorrow and talking to you about fall and the reality of fall when reality really sets in. God bless you. Have a good day.